I am excited to be with you today. My name is Gloria Mayfield Banks, and this is your first time with me. Let me just say this to you. This is all about coaching others so that you can get the results that they want, that you want, that people are happy, that's done in joy, is done in energy. Let me tell you something. There's story after story after story, and you have your own stories about how people have tried to increase your focus, increase your effort, therefore increase your results and get you going in the same direction. Well, I want to tell you this story because I'm dyslexic. And I remember being at this phenomenal so-called corporate job that I had. And they brought in a guy over me, which is fine for me, but wasn't that fine for him because he was mad because my income was higher than his. I don't know who negotiated his thing. I said, I negotiate my thing, whatever. He didn't like me from Jump Street, mostly because of that. But he had a higher position, respected it. Here's where he made a massive mistake. He never concerned himself with what I wanted. He only concerned himself with what he wanted and what the company wanted, but never, ever asked me about me, never, ever asked me about my situation, never, ever asked me about what made me tick. And I was obviously an ambitious person. This is what you need to know. Some people are obviously ambitious. They obviously like to win. They obviously like to do well. And you need to obviously know what turns them on, like what gets them going. Because if you do that, things will change dramatically. So I took myself from a team of 1 to a team of 12,000, from a team of 1 country to a team of 8 countries. And I'm just giving you an inside view on all of that, about 1-ish every day right here, like 1-ish. But one of the main reasons is because I truly, truly believe that if you understand that coaching others is different than managing others, and if you're in a leadership position or you want to be in a leadership position, even if you're leading yourself only, or you're leading 2 or 3 people only, or if you're leading 12,000 people only, or you're leading 1 or 2 heavy hitters that lead a lot more. Leadership itself can be defined a lot of different ways, but there's some rules that make leading others, coaching others, so much more powerful than you trying to figure it out by yourself if you know the rules. It's like when you pull up Google Maps or Apple Maps. I'm an Apple person. Apple Maps. And they give you 3 or 4 different ways you can go. But if you want the shortest route, or if you don't want to take tolls, or if you want to win and you don't want to cajole people into it, or push them all the time, or keep working super hard and getting results like this, or getting growth like this, little growth, or worse, a little growth backwards, a little more growth backwards, a little more growth. If you don't want that, if you really want to move people in the direction of the dream, it has to incorporate your dream, their dream, and maybe whatever organization you're working under, even if it's your own organization. You got to know how to balance it all. So let me just give you a couple of things that, I'm changing the paradigm here. I got my notes, I got my preparation, and I'm going to give it to you. But before I do that, you have got to tell me, Gloria, I absolutely went to gmblive.com and registered for your masterclass. The masterclass is going to be on July 26th at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Not 1-ish, exactly at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on July 26th. That's a Saturday. Okay, register. And if you can't, you're going to make the replay for sure. But you need to definitely register, because I promise you the information I'm going to give you there is going to be so good. So good. Okay, so here's what I want you to know. Leaders that manage results are missing the point because they're not managing the reasons behind what happens to people. What makes people tick? I remember sitting in my office one day, and I had become now, for 2 years, I ran a full-time job and a full-time entrepreneurship. And then finally, I built my business up to a point where I felt comfortable after divorce, a whole nother story there, of doing it full-time. And I remember sitting there thinking, how can I get other people to move in this same direction, to have a passion like I had, to have a work ethic like, okay, you can't get that. But what I did realize is that people were different, and therefore you need to understand their differences. Most leaders are managing results because they're missing a very important piece. And that is the piece that says, how do I understand what motivating, what drives, not motivates, what drives another person. The reason I use the word drive, there's a distinct difference for that. Drive is something that stays with you when no one else is pushing you. Drive is what stays with you. That's an internal push towards continuing and to create something that truly brings you joy. Why do people stay in a situation where at the moment they're not very happy, but they stay and they work and they push because of what drives them? Are you really finding out what drives a person? Okay, what's driving me is for you guys to go to gmblive.com, gmblive.com. Now, you know I'm dyslexic. So if I come up with something like that, everybody can remember it. And if you're on Facebook and Instagram, you can just put the word courage. Just write the word courage, and we'll send you a link. We'll send you a personal invitation because I don't want anybody to miss it. Okay, let me give you these 3 big things that are really going to make a difference. Number 1, very important. Everyone is not wired the same. Everyone is not wired the same. And that's the point of working with a big team and being able to garnish enough people skills that you can find out the differences through asking questions, through experiences, through proximity, being in their space. Oh man, yesterday in the Superbad community, we did a Q&A that was so fire. And what I love about the Q&A is they get to ask their specific questions that so many other people need to hear the answers to, and they didn't even know they needed that answer, but then they used it. So super good, super good. Let me tell you something. It is so critical that you need to understand that people are not wired the same. And what made me think about that Q&A is that someone said, I want to reach a goal I reached before, but I don't have that same drive I had before. And I said, because your life has changed. So stop looking for the same drive and find the current drive. Because what I was driven to do when my kids were 2 and 3 was very different than what I was driven to do when they were 11 and 12, which very different than what I was when they were 21 and 22. Very different. And still today, very different. So now I got 5 grandkids, 4 of which are here right now. Hello. I need you to know that you have to evaluate what drove you before so that you can get driven again by it. Motivation isn't magical, it's personal. Number 2, motivation isn't magical, it's personal. So I need you to figure out, what is it when you go and you talk to people? I found out their personal why. I know when you think like, Gloria, 12,000 people. Well, you have 12,000 people. You have leaders amongst leaders, and it's something that you can teach, something that you can train, is to ask the type of questions. Watch the evidence that's in front of you. So many times, if you don't know you're looking for it, you miss the evidence in front of you as to when someone displays in front of you their personal why, their personal drive, what drives them personally to do the things that they do. You got to figure it out. And here's the other thing. If you're not aligned with your effort, you get burnout. If they don't clearly understand how what they're doing is going to push their personal agenda forward, to do with the results that they care about. Then they get burned out and they disappear and you don't even know why. They're gone. And you're like, where? She was, who? He brought the, I was waiting for the dag. And they're gone. They're so gone because, like me, they weren't interested in what I wanted. So my desire to show up early, to give 2,000%, which I'd always done, dissipated. It was gone. I was no longer interested in doing any of it. So let's recap. Number one, you need to find out what drives individuals if you want to lead a team towards the same direction. And I'm telling you, even when I'm hiring people that work for me, even if they're going to cook for me or they're going to be my assistant, I ask them specifically, what is it that you think about? What is it that makes you joyful? What is it that you need in your future that you're working now to create for the later? What is it? You got to talk to people. You got to understand. You got to ask questions. And I have seen so many leaders operate in a silence, thinking that this is what's required of the job is enough to move people forward. And it's not. Understand. Everybody's not wired the same. And also understand this. It takes time to build the trust. And you got to become good at building trust. You got to be good at asking questions. You got to be good at keeping secrets. You got to be mindful of when you give advice. There's a lot of things in people skills that I talk about a lot. And I appreciate you guys coming to me and understanding it. So do me a favor. Do me a huge favor. Understand that at this masterclass, where I'm talking about how to coach people you lead, it's going to be fire. And there's going to be an interactive session that you're going to absolutely love being a part of, because it's in that Q&A section where we converse and where we talk and where we change. And you guys, I have been on that interactive session for a long time because it has been so good. And then everybody who didn't participate in the interactive was like, Gloria, after what you shared, I would love to be able to dig deeper in something that pertains to me, which ends up pertaining to others. But they can't because they cut themselves short. Don't cut yourself short. Never cut yourself short and expect big results. So take a look. Go on to GMB Live. Join me. I'm coming at you hard. Oh, there's a lot coming at you. A lot. And it's going to serve you well. I'll talk to you later. Love you. Tons.